Hey guys, I'm Courtney. This is Courtney Crosses. Welcome back to my YouTube channel about my cross stitch. It is Monday, March 16th. I meant to film yesterday, but I wanted to wait for one or two things to come in the mail today, and then I got to kind of a symbolic point, I guess, or a good point in one of my whips. I really wanted to get there before I filmed again. And I just finished that like 5 minutes ago. So I get in and get started. I have a bunch of whips, and then I have a lot of Nashville haul. So yeah, it might be a little bit of a longer one. I don't have any starts this week, and I don't have any finishes. So let's jump right in. I bought a board to try to display all of these, and I just started my video with it, and I'm gonna have to figure out, like, I don't know if I got one that's too big or not the right size or whatever, but like it kept smacking me in the face and getting in the way. So we're gonna do another week without a board, and then I'll try to figure it out. So I started my trader stitching this week, or I kept it going. I'm up to episode 5, so the project's like towards the end of the week got 5 hours on them, but then towards the beginning of the week they were only getting like an hour or 2 hours, so I have a lot of whips this week. That number will probably kind of go down, and we'll talk about that a little bit in plans, but let's just dig right in. So the first one I have is this is Stars Hollow, Seasons of Stars Hollow, by Black Needle Society. This is stitched on a 28 count linen 2/2, which means 2 strands of floss over 2 linen threads if you're new to cross stitch. And these are all the called for DMC and fancy flosses. And I worked over here in this gazebo scene, and I think I had the gazebo done, but I've been working in filling in all of the sky here. So I have this little section left, and then there's more left in that pattern. Let me see, I should have it here. Yeah, so these are 4 separate patterns by the Black Needle Society. So this is the one I'm working on right now. So you can see if I'm working on up here, and then I have all the rest of this one to do. So that's autumn. I already did spring. I still need to do winter. And then I've already done summer. I started with summer. I started with spring, then I did summer. I'm hoping to finish this hopefully by the end of the year. And then I want to make it into a long pillow. And I found some Gilmore Girls fabric at Michael's to use as the back. So hopefully that will get done. The next one is my Nativity Story by Blackberry Lane Designs. This one, it's going to be beautiful when it's done, but it's kind of hard. It's stitched on 28 count fabric, but over 1. And I'm getting it done, and then to do it, you really need a whole yard of fabric, as you can see here. So I haven't figured out like a hoop situation yet. I've just been doing it in hand, which I'm not usually an in-hand stitcher, so that's been kind of hard. So I just have the tiniest little bit here. Before I just had the box, so I pulled that down. I did the star, and I did the Luke chapter 2 verse 14. I didn't quite finish the 4 there, but and I'm stitching this on 28 count Graveyard Mist by Lapping Loop with Cousin It floss from Roxy Floss Co. It's really like more, I don't know if you can see the variegation. It's dark blue with like some teal in it, and the variegation's not showing up, but I'm hopeful when I have sort of more block stitching, maybe it'll, not block stitching, but like more stuff together, like when I do the people and the nativity and all that, maybe it'll show up a little bit better than just the couple of words I've done so far. Let's hope. Because it's beautiful floss, and I really want it to show up. Let's see, I worked on Saga, Saga is by Long Dog Samplers. I am stitching this on 46 count light Aruba by Fox and Rabbit. I actually purchased it, not by Fox and Rabbit, by Color and Cotton. Almost everything else I stitch is on Fox and Rabbit. I actually bought this at the Color and Cotton shop in St. Louis when I was there for work and visiting a friend. I put in 808 stitches this week. This is stitched 1/2 with Silks for You floss, and it's a custom color because I'm doing these as a gradient of teal. So like the next row of arches will be a little bit darker all the way down. So I think this week I had some of the outline of this middle arch done, or the middle of what I've done. And so I pulled that down and over, filled in all the animals there, and then started on this third arch and got that all put in. And now I'm just working on the animals. And then across here, there's like a little village. So I will work on that. This is what I'm calling my pot piece for traders. So if you don't watch Traders, each episode they do a competition to win money towards the prize pot. So for every $10,000 they win, I think I'm doing 20 stitches on this. So for season 1. So by the end of season 1, I will have gotten 5,000 stitches in here. Oh, I have done 4,894 stitches. Not all of those were traders. I had worked on this before, but I am 4.67% done. So a lot more to go on that one. Let's see. Then I worked on Live on Little by Plum Street. This one only got 2 hours. My copy is like Seen Better Days. It is signed by Paulette, though, from when I was at the retreat with her in Williamsburg. This is on 40 count stone, I believe. Yeah, 40 count stone by Fiber on a Whim. And what I worked on is down here in the sailboat. I got the bottom of the sailboat in, and then I did, this will all be filled in here. You can't really probably see it that well on this fabric because it's white, but there will be more blue water behind all of that, so that'll help it stand out. And this is with just the called for DMC, and I think there's a few overdyes in that. Let's see. Then I worked on, this is the Equality Sampler, also by Plum Street. And I am stitching this on 36 count Coffee Stain by Cedar River. Oops, one of my flosses just rolled. With the Vicky Clayton silks. And guys, I worked on this for 4 hours. 4 hours. On Saturday, some of my stitchy friends and I met up. I had the first sort of level of the outline of this flower done, but not like so outside of the dark sort of brown color was done, but the dark brown and everything inside was not. That took me 4 hours. I worked on this for 4 hours and I didn't even finish a flower. Like, it's fine and it'll get done eventually, but Paulette loves her flowers. I mean, obviously I love them too because I keep buying her patterns. And then the one thing I do have to figure out that I've been struggling with, so this is the Vicky Clayton substitute for the flag, the blue in the flag. And that, I don't know if you can see it on screen, but that's not blue. That's green, and I don't want a green flag. So I will go probably tomorrow. My local shop, Hoops and Needles, has a stitchy meetup. And so I will go find Iowa Pool. It's supposed to be Chesapeake from Weeks, which I looked online and also looks kind of blue. I'm wondering if maybe it's supposed to be Chesapeake Bay or if maybe just Chesapeake changed. But anyways, regardless, I'll go find a good blue for the one day when I eventually get to that flag. Okay, we have, just 3 more. Whoops, I kind of had everything in a pile. So this one, it's frustrated me. Okay, so these are the Plum Street Moon series. So there's spring moon, summer moon, autumn moon, and then winter moon, which is what I started with. So I think I had worked on these a little bit last week, and I worked on it for a bunch, but I'm actually no further than when I started, and I need to rip some stuff out. So I had, like, I think this tree was done, so I just have a little bit. This tree was done before, and I started on this tree. Well, it's, which floss is it? It's, I think it's in juniper and spinach. Weeks Dye Works, juniper, and classic colorworks spinach. And look at the picture. Okay, I know we can't go by the picture, but that tree and that picture, this one, is not super dark. But when you take the floss, it's pretty variegated, and it was really dark. And so then when I was trying to do like the berry in it, it wasn't standing out at all. So I started fussy cutting this floss and just pulling out the light color part of it, which is annoying and time consuming. And so that's what I did. So I ripped the whole tree out, started fussy cutting floss, putting the tree back in. And then as I got down here, I realized, crap, I didn't count right. I should have started, like, I think one rung on this tree up higher. Like, I counted off of this one, and it should have been off of that one. So that pisses me off. So what, it's my own fault. I did it to myself. So what I think I want to do, but I'm afraid because I didn't leave big margins here, because I'm trying to do these all in a row. And to do that on any like normal size piece of linen, I had to go to 46 count. And I think I had to go to pretty narrow margins. So next time this comes out, what I'm going to look at is if instead of ripping out this tree that fussy cut, the floss that took me forever, can I rip out this tree, which was just with the variegated, didn't require any fussy cutting, and move it up? It's probably like 4, 5, 7-ish rows up. I need to figure that out and see what kind of margin it leaves me, because I don't want to obviously end up with too little margin to frame this. So this is going away for now. It might get called, it will get called in season 2 traders, I'm pretty sure. But I was so mad. I started doing that during, we had a market day on Tuesday at Hoops and Needles, and we all sat around and stitched, and I think I was just gabbing too much and not paying enough attention, and didn't put the tree in the right place. Okay, 2 more whips. Oops. This is, oh, sorry, that's on 46 count hog bristle by Fox and Rabbit with all the called for flosses. This is A Time to Sew by Teresa Kogut. I worked on this for 3 or 4 hours. This is on 40 count Inca by Fox and Rabbit, and I'm kind of in love with how this the pink modeling is showing up here. But I worked on pulling this tree branch out. I put the little bird nest in. I think I maybe did some work over here with these. And then I had some of the house done, but I worked on filling in sort of more of the house. And then I started on, I don't know what you call it, the part above the window. The dark brown there. So I got to put in the windows and sort of finish the house next time this comes out. I have the board for this, so and I have all 4 seasons, so the goal is to get all of these done and then put them out seasonally on the Chantel 141 board. Okay, and then the last whip I have that literally just came off the Q-Snap 20 minutes ago, probably now at this point, is Summer Quaker by Lila Studios. This was a whip go call So I worked on it some last week and then or the week before, but then it also got called for 5 hours of trader stitching. And so I was able to get a good amount of work done on this the past week or so. And I actually finished the middle section. The only thing I haven't done is there's some long stitching on the ship. But I actually had that in initially, and then when pulling it in and out of the Q-snaps, it got loose. And so that will be like the very last thing that I do. So I think last week when I showed it, I had done the sun and the clouds over here, and I was working on all of this fill-in. And that was a lot of fill-in. Lots of the 2 shades of blue. And then I had to finish a little bit of the gray. There's 2 shades of gray just in like a single line basically down here. So I got that done. So I'm really happy. The whole middle block, which is, the dense part of the stitching is all done. And now I just need to do the Quakers on sort of three sides, 2 3/4 sides, because I started this one a little bit. And those Quakers go fast, or at least faster than the middle section. So this is going to go away. I finished its time on WhipGo and on Trader Season 1, but this may be after. I'm going to talk a little bit about one thing I want to finish in plans. But this may be, after those get done, this may be the next one to kind of get some extra attention. Okay, so those are all my whips. Let's talk real fast plans, and then we'll do haul. Plans are, so I have some retreats coming up, one of which is the Hobby House retreat, which is like April 30th, I think, to May 2nd or something like that. And Paulette from Plum Street, among other designers, will be there. And I had set myself this goal of finishing the Autumn in Williamsburg piece by the time I see her again in May. And so I think I'm going to pull that out and work on that some this next week. And maybe sort of suspend Traders games for that. It does get called in Traders, but fortunately or unfortunately, I think it was assigned to who won season 1 in Traders. And so I would have a lot of stitching to get to before I get to that for Trader stitching. And I'm just feeling anxious about wanting to get it done and stuff. So anyways, I think I'm going to do that. And then I have not done my second WhipGo call. So if you're new to cross-stitching in Flosstube, WhipGo is a bingo-based game that's done by Jessa Marie Does Stuff. You assign projects, a project to each number 1 through 25. And then every month she calls 2 numbers. There's a free spot that sort of is a 3rd number whenever that gets called. And you stitch on those projects as their number gets called. And it's really up to you. Some people use specific projects. Some people use a number of stitches, number of hours. People get very creative. So I try to do 10 hours. So my WhipGo that Summer Quaker was WhipGo for this month. So I have checked that off. But then the other one that got called was Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery that everybody and their brother has stitched. But I didn't start until this year because I was kind of new to stitching and didn't know about it. So I think I'm going to try to put some work on that this week to satisfy my WhipGo for the month. Okay, the other pile right next to me here is my Nashville market haul. So for those of you who live under a rock and don't know, the first part of March, there's always a Nashville needlework market it's actually outside of Nashville, but designers for cross stitch, fabric dyers, floss dyers, all the people who sell all the cross stitch things go, and then the shops go, cross stitch stores. And I wish that like just everybody could go. I get it, I know why, but it's like a kid in a candy store nerd dream to go one day. But anyways, so you put in pre-orders. And then people go and they get all their stuff. So I kind of did a couple of things this year. I have bought some fabric from a cross stitch shop called Beautiful Sip and Stitchery. It's BeeYoutiful. I'll link it below. They're somewhere in Chicago, but they just seem to always have really great fabric supply and stash of all the dyers that I enjoy. And they did a thing in like October, November, December, that when you bought from them, whether it was fabric or patterns or whatever, you got like a stamp card. And if you filled up your stamp card, you get $15 off, and you had to use that by the end of February. You could use it January through the end of February. Well, I apparently, like, I think November was my birthday, so I bought a lot of fabric for myself to treat myself for my birthday and different things. And so I ended up having $75 of free shopping, which I spent that and a little bit more picking out some Nashville things. And then I also went to Hoops and Needles, is my local cross stitch shop, and they had a market day on Tuesday when they got back of this past week, almost a week ago now, and brought all the things and put them up in the back room, and you could go and shop. So I did some of that. And then I did pick up a little bit of fabric from an online shop called the House of Stitch and Stash, because she had some fabric I was looking for. I think that's all I've gotten so far. I did make one more fabric order to get some Fox and Rabbit fabric from Market, because I had to sort of source that from a different place. So anyways, that is what we have. Oh, and so I have a big pile here that's about to fall over. Actually, the first thing I have is not from, first two things I have are not from Market, but showed up kind of this week. So I'm in the Color and Cotton Soft Neutrals Fabric Club. So every month I get a fat half of 40 count Color and Cotton fabric. So this is this month's, and it's called Wood Smoke. I'm actually really, this is beautiful in my opinion. It's sort of a smoky gray with some modeling in it. But the last 2 months, so it started in January. So I've got, this is March. So we've got January, February, March. But January and February's were tan, which you'll see I stitch with a lot of tan. That's not a problem. But it's nice to get something that's still a neutral, but is a little bit different. So I don't know what will go on this yet, but we will find something. Okay. And then I did pick up at Hoops and Needles, I think this was a couple weeks ago, but it just got piled with this stuff. I started the Santa stocking, smoking Santa, whatever it's called, that everybody's doing from Teresa Kogut. And so I figured I would do the Naughty or Nice stocking as well. So I grabbed this pattern. Okay. Then let's see, I got a piece, I'll do fabric from Nashville first. So I got a piece of Manny Day Donna, the Beach 40 count at Hoops and Needles. So it's brown, but has this like pretty blue modeling. And I'm not positive what I'm going to stitch it with yet, or stitch on it. This, I also got this. So this is the Proper Stitcher, and it says, have courage and be kind. So my thought was maybe to use this for that. And then I have some Color and Cotton variegated flosses that I originally was going to do Saga in until I pivoted. And so I thought maybe that would go well with like the blue and that. So that might be an idea. Okay. And then from House of Stitch and Stash, I got some Mason linen. I've never had Mason linen. I've wanted to try it. Every time I've tried to try it before, it has sold out too quickly. Sorry, there's like tissue paper in this, so it's kind of crinkly. But so I got a fat quarter of antique button in medium dark 40 count. And I really like how this feels. It's soft, but not too soft. So we'll see. I'm not sure what I'll stitch on these yet. They are a little darker neutral than I would usually probably order for myself, but can't be picky when it comes to mason linen. And then I ordered a fat half of sewing box, medium dark, also in 40 count. Sorry, let me get the tissue paper out of this. And so this is way more of like a darker khaki color. It kind of reminds me, like I have business pants with like a suit that are kind of this darker, khaki almost color, brown color, so that you can wear them like in the summertime and in the wintertime without wearing like, you know, khaki almost white pants in the winter. So that's the fabrics. Yeah. And then I have some fox and rabbit. I got the new market color. I ordered that I think yesterday, so it should come here soon. Okay, then I got sorry, I started to kit these up so there's like floss hanging out of them a little bit. I got the Blackbird Designs Remember Me book at the market day at Hoops and Needles. And so this is 9 samplers, little sampler blocks that you can do together or separate. And the idea is all these names here are customizable. They give you an alphabet. And so you can change the names to people that are meaningful to you. So I think I'm going to try to do like female family member names, including my mom and me, my grandmothers, great grandmothers maybe. So I was trying to quiz my parents a little bit on our family tree last night and discovered we don't know a lot. So we'll figure that out. Then of course, because I'm a sucker for Plum Street and anything patriotic Plum Street, I got a Worthy Patriot. I love this pattern. This is an immediate start. I had to order a couple of flosses I didn't have from 123 Stitch. And then I gotta grab a few more at Hoops and Needles tomorrow. I had a gift card to 123 Stitch for Valentine's Day, so I used that to kit up a few things. And then I will, I'm gonna start this soon. My plan, I think, is to do it on the 36 count Coffee Stain by Cedar River because that's what all these other patriotic ones are on. And even though this doesn't like, it's not the exact style of all of her other, like the Salem sampler and the Equality sampler and the Autumn and Williamsburg sampler, but I think it's close enough and I'd probably hang it on the same wall. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Of course, everybody has bought all of the Cedar River. So I have some. I had bought enough to do all of the existing ones on that. So I do need to source maybe another fat quarter of it. But I may have a backdoor source for it currently. And then if not, I'm sure it will come back into stock at some point. Okay. I then got the Hip Kitties. So these are really cute. They're stand-ups that look like little kitties. So I thought I could do them and put them on the bookcase behind me. And then they have little quotes on the back. So what greater gift than a love of a cat? And a cat is a puzzle with no solution, which is very fitting for kitties. And then because I love everything cats, I also got this Queen of the Needles needle book. So I don't know if you can really see. I think how it works is you do like this on one side and then this on another piece and then like kind of sew them together. I'm not sure. Yeah. Take 2 pieces of linen, stitch the front of the pattern on one and then the back on the other piece. Then right sides together and sew around it. Leave an opening to turn right sides out at the bottom, then turn and sew and finish with running stitch or beads. If you want, you may add lace or crochet a simple border. So we'll get there eventually. Figure that out. This one I got at Hoops and Needles to work on from my mom. She loves all things flowers. So I'm going to actually do this pillow for her. This model is stitched on 20 count linen, which I didn't even know existed. And so I've ordered 2 pieces in different colors to kind of see what mom wants. And then I don't think she wants it all in white, which is good because I don't want to stitch that all in white. So I think she wants to make it kind of look like sunflowers. So I'm going to look for like a variegated yellow, a variegated green for all the leaves, and then maybe like a brown or something for the center. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to the sit and stitch tomorrow at Hoops and Needles. So I will look for some flosses there. I ordered kind of a pinky red fabric that I thought was pretty, and then I ordered just a brown neutral. So we'll see. This is, oh, sorry, that's by Hello from Liz Matthews. Then I got Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. This is, it's called With Needle and Thread by Brenda Gervais. So I'm a sucker for houses. So it's got a red house in the middle. Sorry for kind of the glare. And then it says, with needle and thread, my heart is at home. And I just kind of loved that saying. So then, man, Market was so good for patriotic stuff this year because of the 250th anniversary. So this is the Proper Stitcher, another house, patriotic, and it says Sweet Land of Liberty. Let's see, this is MTV Cross Stitch Designs, which I have never heard of them before or gotten any of their things, but this one I really liked. It says Welcome Home and kind of has a little bit of a patriotic, but not like in your face patriotic. And so I thought this would be cute. And then just put it in a little frame and put it by one of my front door or my back door. Let's see, then Hands-On Design. I got Make Today Count. And then I got the Chantel 141 finishing board to go with that. So hopefully I can figure out how to do that. I mean, it's not hard, but I had to stitch it first, obviously, and then finish it. I have almost all of the stitching I've done so far is framed. So I'm trying to kind of like, not that I can't frame. I mean, I don't frame it. I take it to a framer, but not that I can't frame things, but it's kind of nice to have some other ways to finish things that are cheaper than getting everything framed. Okay, so then from Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread, I also got this One Flag, One Land little patriotic guy, and I got the 141 board also to finish that. So yeah, down to the last one, I guess. Yeah. This is Shakespeare's Peddler Peace. I don't know, this just pulled me in, and peace is something that I need to be reminded of maybe sometimes. I worry a lot. And then there's also one from last year that's Joy. And I didn't buy the Joy one last year. It just didn't sort of spark me. But of course, now that I have Peace, I was like, well, I have to have the Joy because you have to do the series. And so I have, I'm going to get the Joy one. These come with, so I bought the floss pack. You get, it's, oh gosh, Gentle Arts threads, but they do a couple that are like limited just for Market, and then a couple that are like their normal threads. So if you want it to look like this, you have to buy the thread at Market. So I did that. For the Joy one, I don't have, I got some Gentle Arts sampler threads like at a door prize that are limited edition from last year, I think at Market. Like I think that's where they're from. I'm not positive though. So anyways, they do give you some substitutes that you can use, like if you can't get your hands on the limited edition ones, which I probably can't. So anyways, I think that's all that I have for today. I hope everyone is stitching well, stitching often. And yeah, I will see you guys. It seems like I am generally doing once a week now. but maybe every 9 days kind of thing. So I'll probably continue to plan on that schedule. I have 3 retreats coming up though, so those might kind of throw things off. So I am going to Stitching, Texas, the second week of April. Then I come back and I almost immediately, like a couple days later, go to Annabelle's retreat in Oklahoma. And then I think I'm back for like 10 days and then I go up to Hobby House. So lots of retreat time coming up, but that may kind of throw the schedule off a little bit. But we'll see. I appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, comment. Hopefully maybe one day I can have more than 20 people who watch my videos. But you know, it's all right. I enjoy it, and I enjoy meeting people and finding community, and one day it'll be cool to go back and look at these videos myself too. So anyways, have a great week, everybody. Keep on stitching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.